What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Trey Jones, and today we are talking about health anxiety. This vicious, relentless monster, in my opinion. It is very, very complex. It is difficult to overcome, but it is possible, because I know if I did it, you can too. It takes effort, determination, self-love, self-motivation, willpower, action, being proactive. You need those qualities to overcome it, okay? And it took me a long time to do this and pull it all together into one big plan and strategy, but it worked for me, and I know it can work for you. So go ahead and smash that like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you're struggling with health anxiety. So guys, before I get into this, I'm not a licensed mental health professional. Many of you know that, but I just need to let the audience know I am not a medical doctor either. So I can't diagnose you. I can't really encourage or discourage medication. I just share my personal experiences with you guys to show you that there is light at the end of the tunnel and that recovery is indeed possible. I, in fact, encourage you, I encourage you to set up appointments with therapists, psychologists, to work on your mental health, to get diagnosed properly. When it comes to your symptoms, it is always a good idea to get reassurance to rule out any medical conditions, so see a medical doctor for that as well, So make sure that you're doing that. You need that initial reassurance to feel better. If you're scared to go to the doctor, I'm telling you, this is gonna be a difficult road for you. You need to make that step to go get reassurance. Whether it's good or bad news, it's a win-win. You need to know what's going on with you, So take care of yourself, love yourself, take responsibility, and make that step. So guys, I struggled with this for 5 long years. It crippled me in every way imaginable. See, in the beginning, the first 2.5 years, it was primarily worries that involved my heart. So heart rate, palpitations, then my blood pressure, then the chest pain. So I was obsessed with the heart. I had cardiophobia. So I always thought I was dying of heart attacks. These were panic attacks. I would have 5 to 10 of these a day. I thought I had some issue with my heart disease. So I went to the doctors to get reassurance all the time, ER, doctor visits, appointments, testing, the whole 9 yards. Did I feel better by doing that? Yes, I did in the beginning, but I didn't understand how anxiety worked. So I didn't realize just because I got some reassurance from the doctor that these symptoms would just disappear. I thought that was what was gonna happen, but they continued because I didn't handle the root problem. I didn't handle the root fear. The subconscious mind lags behind the conscious mind's intentions, and awareness. So it takes a long time to rewire and reprogram. So that's what many of you are not doing. You're not doing that part. You think that if you go to the doctor, that they're gonna tell you that you're fine, that these things disappear because you're happy and thankful in that moment. Most of the time, that is not the case. And health anxiety is extremely complex. Let me give you an example. So eventually I got over this fear of my heart. I was like, Trey, I'm not having 5 to 10 heart attacks a day. That is silly. I finally accept this. I've gotten enough results from the doctors. I've done my education on that part. I know that I'm not dying of heart attacks, But then I had new symptoms. So I graduated to this fear of cancer, which I dealt with for the next 2 years. So if you don't handle the root cause, basically what I'm saying, if you don't handle that, this vicious cycle can continue whenever you develop new symptoms. Then you develop new symptoms, you're going to the doctor for a whole nother thing. So you're getting a whole nother round of testings, CAT scans, MRIs, you name it. It's very expensive, it's exhausting. You develop this distrust for doctors. You are self-convinced that you are dying or that there is something wrong with you. You are self-diagnosing on Google. There's a lot of mini cycles as well, because unlike other forms of anxiety, health anxiety really revolves around being triggered by your symptoms. So if you have anxiety, you're gonna have symptoms all the time. So whenever you have a symptom, that makes you feel like you have a certain illness or that you are dying in that moment, like if you're having a panic attack, and there's a lot of mini cycles within it. So you can see how complex this is. In my personal opinion, like for me, if I just had generalized anxiety, it would have been much, much easier for me to overcome that. If I just dealt with social anxiety, that would have been okay, But I didn't. I had health anxiety. So I had the general anxiety as well. I had panic disorder as well. I was having 5 to 10 panic attacks a day. Then I felt ashamed. I isolated myself. I didn't want to leave home. I didn't want to go to crowded places. I didn't want to socialize, do anything, hang out with family. I couldn't even talk to people. I would stutter. I had brain fog. So then I developed social anxiety. So you see a lot of people that deal with health anxiety have a lot of different things going on. Not everybody, but a lot of people, all right? And whenever you have a lot of things going on, it just is obviously more difficult to overcome. So with that being said, you need strategy, you need a plan. And the foundation, in my opinion, with health anxiety is acceptance, which is easier said than done, but it is a choice. And then not focusing on your symptoms. Again, easier said than done, but it is a choice. It takes practice. For me, it took roughly a year of me starting this process and then putting everything together, which at the end, it really sped up and accelerated when I did all the things at the same time. And that's where a lot of you are messing up. You think that if you just go and exercise every day, that everything will just be fine. Well, you need diet, okay? The diet is very important, but you also need to do mental homework, mental work, mental effort to rewire this up here. So many of you are neglecting meditation, many of you are neglecting positive affirmations, gratitude. There's so many things, and since it is so complex, it really requires you to do all of this. You need to do all of these things every single day. It needs to become, your priority over anything else. Because if you don't have your mental health, you really don't have much. You need to live. And it's funny, whenever you first had that episode with health anxiety, and I always tell people this, it's an awakening, like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be here, I'm gonna die one day, and this fear gets embedded really, really deep, which is really hard to just pluck out. It takes work to get in there and get to the root, and to actually reprogram your mind. But I tell people it's ironic because we're so fearful of death, but we ironically stop living, because this obsession and this fear runs our life. So we have to get down to the root problem. We have to solve this. And something else that I see as well, this video is kind of all over the place. I apologize, I'm scatterbrained this morning. But there will be people that deal with a certain symptom and fear, and they deal with that for 2 years. They finally, like I mentioned, say, look, I'm not worried about that anymore, I'm fine. So they'll be fine for 2, 3, 4 years, but since they didn't ever handle that fear, okay, that was embedded deep, 2, 3, 4 years later, it comes up again. They have another symptom, now they're worried about this. So you really, really need to put in the work, squash this for good. For those of you that said, yeah, it just kind of left me one day. That's what you think, but there's a good possibility, since you're prone to this, that it could come up again whenever you develop some other symptom. So you want to change for good, you want to change who you are for good. You want to reprogram your mind. So when later down the road, something comes up, you don't flip out or obsess. And that's where I'm at. I don't have panic attacks anymore. If something happens with my health, I don't freak out anymore. I know myself. I know how irrational I can be. I know the rabbit holes I can go down. I know all the constant reassurance I used to need for everything. I used to just turn right to Google. I don't do any of that. I give it a little bit of time, and if I feel like it's serious and it's affecting me, I go to the doctor and get it checked out. So guys, I don't deal with this anymore. I know some people are like, you can't ever get over it. Yes, you can. You can get over it. It is possible. So if you're interested in any type of life coaching for your health anxiety, that's my bread and butter. I love to help people. It's all about strategy, doing all the right things, encouragement, motivation. I provide all of that. There will be an email down below in the description, in the first pinned comment. Just reach out to me and let me know that this is something you're interested in. I would love to help you. I've gotten tons of great reviews so far. People's lives are being changed by this, and I'm excited about it. It's very fulfilling. I love to do it. But if you have health anxiety, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is a difficult thing to overcome because even though it can go dormant for a while, it can reappear in your life if you don't get this fear under control. That's what we have to do. Get down to the root. Get down to the root of the problem. So guys, I hope you got value. There are resources down below. Again, hit me up if you're interested in life coaching for your health anxiety. Guys, like this video if you got value. And again, leave me a comment, let me know your struggles. And subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell so you get updates when I put my videos out. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Keep fighting, guys.